What makes Coonawarra so special? I think a lot of it's about the geology. Terra Rossa soil, you hear a lot spoken about, and there really is something special about that. And the fact that the Terra Rossa soil is actually relatively thin and sits on a limestone shelf is extremely important. Just the depth of that Terra Rossa soil above the limestone has a significant effect on the ripening and the vigour and the way that the vines perform. The combination of the red Terra Rossa soil sitting above the limestone shelves in Coonawarra is really what makes it particularly special for Bordeaux varieties. The way it retains water without being overly fertile, and the balance and the vigour that it gives to the vines really has a big influence on the way that the wines come out. It has a very strong influence from the ocean and the weather coming across from that direction. It's a very flat place, and there isn't any real barrier between the ocean and Coonawarra. So the influence that the ocean plays, I feel, is significant on the vines in Coonawarra. The southern end of the Terra Rossa strip, quite close to Penola in Coonawarra, and being at the southern end means it's one of the cooler sites within the Coonawarra region, which gives it one of the longest ripening periods within the Coonawarra region. We're usually amongst the last vineyards within the Coonawarra region to actually pick our grapes as well. It's more time for the tannin development and more time for the flavour development as the grapes are ripening, which is a very important part of the structure of Parker's Cabernet and Terra Rossa wines. The red wine production at Parker is focused around 8 to 10 tonne batch fermentation. It's very important to get that natural tannin out of the grapes and develop the length and the body and the texture of the wine during that fermentation process before we press the wines off. The characters that are in the skins and the seeds need to take time to stabilise and develop within the fermentation and after the fermentation. And that's a very important part of what we do. Tight grain French oak is the balance that is the style of oak that suits our wines the best. It gives supporting tannin and structure without overpowering the fruit, and it gives a good balance to the wine. Aging process in oak will vary a little bit from year to year, but it's generally around 22 months, sort of just short of 2 years. It's not a set formula. I think it's important to let the wines speak to how they want to be treated. First growth is the best expression of Coonawarra Cabernet or Cabernet blend that we can come up with in any given year. We only make it in the years that we feel that the wine is deserving of being in first growth. It needs to be a real expression of great Coonawarra Cabernet, and that has come through in our previous vintages and is continuing to come in through in what we're producing at the moment. Attention to detail and the focus on that finished product as being one of Australia's best expressions of a variety being matched to a region is very important to what makes the following of first growth and what people are looking for in that wine. And certainly what I'm looking